Welcome to Innovation Brief by IdeaScale, where we turn your work team into innovators.
Have you ever thought about how much your company could benefit if everyone, not just, the leadership team, had a chance to contribute ideas and make a real impact? What if, the same energy that drives a successful community, like participation, shared responsibility, all those different voices, could actually be the secret to unlocking innovation in your company? Well, today we're diving deep into this fascinating connection between civic participation and building a company culture where groundbreaking ideas just, constantly pop up.
That's a really interesting way to put it. When you think about civic participation, the first things that come to mind are probably like voting and town hall meetings, right?
Yeah, totally.
But at its core, civic participation is all about people actively getting involved in shaping their future together.
Right.
And if you look closely at companies that are known for being super innovative, you'll see that they've actually adopted those same principles, but, within their business setting.
Exactly. We're talking about everything from how people engage with their local governments to grassroots community projects, all of it. And our goal today is to figure out how to take these fundamental ideas from civic participation and apply them to our own companies. The idea is to create a work environment where people don't just do their assigned tasks, but actually help shape the company's direction and, drive innovation.
I love that.
So let's get into it. Why should a leader, especially one who's really focused on innovation, even think about using civic participation as a model? What do you think?
Well, first, let's think about the idea that civic participation strengthens democracy, right? Now, let's apply that to a company setting. Think about agility, how quickly a company can adapt to changes in the market and seize new opportunities.
Right.
Companies that can do this well often have less rigid hierarchies, and they spread out decision-making. When you involve more people in shaping strategy, not just the top executives, you get a much wider range of perspectives, a clearer picture of what's happening, and you can respond more effectively.
So it's not just about orders coming from the top, but creating an environment where everyone can contribute to strategic thinking.
Exactly.
I like that.
And another thing, civic participation promotes social cohesion, bringing people together.
Right.
In any community, when people work together towards a common goal, it builds trust and understanding.
Makes sense.
And in a company, when employees from different departments, maybe with different skills, work together on innovation projects, it breaks down those silos and creates a stronger sense of purpose. They're not just like cogs in a machine.
Right. They're all contributing to the same goal.
Exactly. They're co-creators.
That's a powerful way to think about it. It seems like having that shared stake in the outcome would definitely lead to better teamwork.
Definitely.
Okay, so we've talked about strengthening democracy and promoting social cohesion. But how does the idea of empowering citizens, which is so important in civic life, translate to the employee experience?
It's pretty straightforward, actually. Just like empowered citizens are more invested in their communities, employees who feel like their ideas are heard and valued are way more engaged and take more ownership of their work. They care more about the company's success. And giving them a real voice, even in small ways, in shaping the direction of things can make a big difference in their motivation to innovate and do their best.
It's about making them feel like they're a part of something bigger.
Exactly.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, civic participation is also about addressing social issues. How does that idea apply to a business environment?
Think of the challenges within your company, like inefficient processes, outdated tech, maybe even unmet customer needs, as the social issues that need to be addressed. When you create a culture of participation, you're basically crowdsourcing solutions from the people who are closest to those issues.
Right.
They have insights that leadership might not even be aware of.
Oh, for sure.
By encouraging everyone to participate in identifying and solving these problems, you tap into this collective intelligence, which can be really powerful.
That's a great point. Now, here's where things get really interesting. Civic participation is all about promoting inclusivity and diversity, ensuring that everyone's voice is heard. What's the benefit of that for companies, specifically when it comes to innovation?
It's about looking at innovation from many different angles. When you actively seek out and value input from people with different backgrounds, experiences, and perspectives, you get a much richer set of ideas. You're less likely to get stuck in groupthink and more likely to come up with truly novel solutions that resonate with a diverse customer base. You're basically designing for a wider world.
It's about widening the lens, right?
Exactly.
That's a great way to put it. Okay, so another important aspect of civic participation is that it builds trust in institutions. That seems especially relevant now, right? How does participation help build trust within a company?
The key ingredients for trust are transparency and feeling heard. When leaders genuinely seek input from employees on important matters, including innovation strategy, and then actually act on that feedback, it creates a strong foundation of trust.
It shows that they value their employees' opinions.
Exactly. Employees start to feel like they're part of something bigger, something meaningful, and that their contributions actually matter.
It's about that sense of belonging and shared purpose. Now, how can we connect this idea of fostering civic responsibility to the workplace? How do we cultivate that same sense of responsibility for innovation among employees?
By giving them opportunities to actively participate in the innovation process, whether it's submitting ideas, working on projects, or providing feedback,
Right.
it creates this feeling of shared ownership.
I see.
Innovation becomes less of a top-down initiative and more of a collective effort.
More organic.
Yes, and employees feel more accountable for contributing to the company's future success.
That makes sense. Finally, civic engagement also encourages lifelong learning. How does that connect to our teams and their development?
Well, when people are actively involved in shaping their communities, they're naturally driven to learn more about the issues, explore potential solutions, and even develop new skills.
Right.
It's the same in a company setting. When employees are encouraged to contribute to innovation, they want to learn new things, explore new technologies, and expand their knowledge so they can bring their ideas to life.
It fosters a culture of continuous growth and improvement.
Absolutely. So we've talked about all these compelling connections between civic participation and innovation in a company setting. Now, how do we actually put these principles into practice? What are some specific things leaders can do?
Great question. Let's take a look at different types of civic participation and how they can be adapted for organizations. For example, voting is a fundamental part of civic engagement.
Right.
How can we apply that concept internally?
Think about setting up internal idea marketplaces or platforms where employees can submit their ideas and then everyone else in the company can vote on which ones they think are the best or have the most potential.
Kind of like an internal Shark Tank.
Yes, exactly. It creates a democratic way to identify and prioritize the most promising ideas.
I love it. Okay, what about volunteering and community service? Those seem a bit less directly related to innovation, don't they?
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
Think about initiatives that encourage employees to volunteer their time and skills for internal projects. Maybe ones focused on innovation or improving things within the company.
Right, outside of their regular job duties.
Exactly. This can encourage collaboration, expose people to different parts of the business, and spark new connections that can lead to some really innovative ideas.
It's about breaking down those barriers between departments.
Exactly.
Okay, now, advocacy and activism can sometimes have a negative connotation. How does that idea translate positively within a company?
Think of it as empowering employees to become champions for their own ideas. Give them platforms and opportunities to pitch their concepts, build support for them, and advocate for their implementation. This kind of internal activism, for lack of a better word, can be a powerful force for change.
It's about giving them a voice and letting them fight for their ideas. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, participatory budgeting is a pretty interesting concept in a civic context. How could that work when it comes to allocating resources for innovation?
Imagine giving employees a say in how a portion of the innovation budget is spent. Maybe they could present proposals, and then everyone in the company votes on which projects get funded.
Wow, that's pretty radical.
It is, but it not only increases buy-in from employees, but it also ensures that the resources are going towards ideas that people are genuinely excited about.
That's a great point. Okay, community organizing seems like it could be a really effective way to structure internal innovation efforts. What do you think?
Absolutely. Encourage the creation of internal innovation teams or communities of practice that focus on specific areas of interest or strategic priorities. These self-organized groups can be really agile and effective at driving innovation in focused areas.
It's like creating little innovation hubs within the company.
Exactly.
That's a great idea. Okay, public meetings and forums are essential for civic discourse. What are the organizational equivalents when it comes to innovation?
Think about holding town hall meetings, specifically focused on innovation, brainstorming sessions that are open to everyone in the company, or regular feedback forums where employees can directly talk to leaders about innovation strategy and share their ideas and concerns.
It's about creating those spaces for open dialogue.
Exactly.
That makes sense. Okay, in today's digital world, online engagement is super important. How can companies use that for innovation?
Using digital platforms like IdeaScale is key. These platforms allow for widespread idea submission, discussion, collaboration, and feedback, breaking down geographical barriers and enabling everyone in the organization to participate, no matter where they are.
It's about democratizing access to innovation.
Precisely.
I like it. Okay, I see the parallel between citizen science and how employees can contribute data and insights to drive innovation. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's about empowering employees to share observations, data points, and insights from their daily work that could be valuable for innovation efforts.
Right.
This could be anything from trends in customer feedback to identifying bottlenecks in processes.
Interesting.
It basically turns your entire workforce into a network of sensors for identifying potential innovation opportunities.
That's a powerful image. Okay, so even social and cultural activities can play a role in fostering innovation.
Absolutely. Internal events, team-building activities, even just informal gatherings can create a more connected and collaborative culture.
Right.
And that kind of environment is fertile ground for spontaneous ideas and the cross-pollination of thinking that drives innovation.
It's about creating those casual spaces where ideas can flow freely.
Exactly.
I love that. Okay, so we've talked